For the first time, after 7 years in marriage, for the first time, we had sexual intercourse. For the first time in 7 years, the Holy Spirit did it for me. I saw erection, the kind I have never seen in my life. I saw erection, it was so erect. In fact, I started shouting, Roy, Roy, Roy. It was over 30 minutes we were on. I was shouting, Roy, Roy. And in the midst of that, I heard the voice of God. He said, you could go on and on and on. I was telling my husband, and Ron said, we can go on and on and on and on. In fact, we are the family of Osas. We have come to return all the glory to this faithful God, the God of the fire altar, for what he has done for us as a family. It all started some years back. We got married 2018, and then 2019 I gave birth to my first son. After that period, I started observing some things in my marriage, and then we saw a gynecologist about it, and then the gynecologist told us it was erectile dysfunction. That was the challenge we had. So for over how many years in my marriage, it wasn't a pleasant situation at all. As the years kept going on, things started getting worse. As couples, we'll be together even 4 months, we've not had sexual intercourse. Sometimes we want to try, but no erection, nothing. If it managed to erect, before you know it will just fall, just like that. For every little thing, I always want to quarrel with my husband. In fact, sometimes I deliberately set trap for him to fall, because he does everything for me as a woman. Sometimes I tell him, I said, that one thing that you need to do for me as a woman, to crown up all the things you are doing for me, is missing in my marriage. So sometimes little things will just strike me up. I will begin to nag, quarrel unnecessarily. But the man, the innocent man, will not answer me. Sometimes when I finish talking, I will still be the one to go back and say, I'm sorry. Last time, before the mid-year fast, I remember there was a day I quarreled him seriously. In fact, I told him, I said, how will you feel if you find me sleeping with another one, if you get me cheating on you with another man? He told me he would feel bad. But that was the point it has gotten to. I was fed up. At that point, I knew that my marriage was in trouble. I couldn't take it anymore, because it's over 6 years now. No form of sexual satisfaction as a woman. When I see my people talking about sex, I don't even know what it means like for a woman to even release, to even enjoy sex or nothing. I've been going through that challenge over 6 years in my marriage. And then when Papa declared the mid-year fast, 3 days before that mid-year fast, I remember I quarreled with him and I told him a lot of things. And my husband told me something. He said, is there anything you have told me to do about this that I have not done? We have bought medications. Sometimes my husband will end up taking drugs, yet we will sleep and wake up, no erection, nothing. And during the work hours, the effect of the drug, it will start affecting him, his head, heart palpitation, and all that. There's nothing we have not done. We even told our parents about that, his dad and my dad. My dad looked for solution. All these things, they mix. He took it, nothing. We went through the internet, saw a lot of things, we started practicing it, nothing. There was no difference. And that day after we quarreled, my husband in tears told me, he said, do you think if it's within my power, I will not do it? I cried, I wept bitterly that day up to bed. And I told him, I said, I will never quarrel you about this thing again. And that day I realized, I said, what am I serving God for? Is there anything God cannot do? And I'm in the fire altar. So I told him, I said, I will not talk to you about this, I will not disturb you. I just knew within me, I made up my mind that day that I would channel it to the God of the fire altar. And Papa declared the mid-year fast. And I told my husband, before now, I've been the only one on the altar. So I called him and I told him, I said, we are beginning mid-year fast in NSPPD. Can you please join us? Because I will not be praying for you and you will not be praying. Two of us should pray together. Put your faith so that it will work for us. My husband told me no problem. So he started joining for the mid-year fast. We were fasting together. And then every afternoon, I go on my knees in my shop and I pray to God. I keep telling him, I said, Lord, take away this thing that wants to break my marriage. Because at that point, I was tired. I've already considered giving up. Where will I go to? Is it to get somebody that will satisfy me sexually and not care for me the way my husband does? So at that point, I was fed up. I know this thing was about to break my marriage. So every day I cry to Elroy. I say, Elroy, take it away. I said, this, you created this thing for a purpose. God did not create the organ of my husband as just for fancy. Put it in order. Let it do the purpose for which it was created. You know that this thing is important in marriage. Without this thing, the marriage will not go well. As I was praying, I was believing God that one day, Papa will also mention this case, erectile dysfunction. I kept praying. And one day I heard Papa for the first time, because I've never heard it on the prayer altar. For the first time, I heard Papa say, erectile dysfunction, let it be reversed.
Any erectile dysfunction, the devil is a lie. You know, let it be reversed.
I shouted, amen. I started crying in tears and in pains, because it's only me that know the pains I have gone through in my marriage. As a woman, I have never known what is called sexual satisfaction. So that day, I sent a message to my husband. I said, Jerry, we are meeting tonight And my husband came that night. So me, I don't know how he must have felt. It's like every time we try to meet, it's like reminding him of his inability, of his dysfunctions. I sent that message to my husband. I told him we're meeting tonight. And it's unlike me. That night, we came exhausted and then we slept. But exactly around 4, I felt a tap and I woke up and I tapped my husband and I said, Jerry, it is time. Very confident. So I told him, fear not, a Roy is involved. For the first time, after 7 years in marriage, for the first time, we had sexual intercourse. For the first time in 7 years, the Holy Spirit did it for me. I saw erection, the kind I have never seen in my life. I saw erection, it was so erect. In fact, I started shouting, Roy, Roy. It was over 30 minutes we were on. I was shouting, Roy, Roy. And in the midst of that, I heard the voice of God. He said, you could go on and on and on. And I was telling my husband, and Ron said, we can go on and on and on and on. In fact, I've come to thank this big God. I have come to thank this big God. Because now I know what it means to be satisfied sexually in marriage. And from that day to today, it's over 10 times. It has been healed. It has just touched. It has come. It has been healed. I've come to say thank you, Jesus. Pastor Jerry, I've come to say thank you. What God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not exist. Thank you, Pastor.